Hello, everyone. My name is Jordan Hart. I'm the online editor with Labels and Labeling Magazine. And today we have a double feature of young managers with us today. So if you guys would like to introduce yourselves, we can discuss your journey, all things labels, and get started.
Sure. I'll go first. I'm Ginnie Gandy, account manager at Channel Resources.
And I'm Alex Hoffman. I'm purchaser and account manager at Channel Resources.
We love it. We love seeing multiple young people at once. It's so exciting in the industry. So my first question that I start all of these with is, how did each of you get involved in labels? And maybe Ginnie, if you want to lead on that.
Sure, yeah. I think Alex and I probably have a similar answer in that our families got us involved. So Channel Resources is a family company started by our grandfather, Calvin Frost. And both of our parents are very involved in the company. My mom's a CEO, Alex's dad is a COO, his mom works in customer service. So all of our family is very involved. And so that's how I got plugged in. It was just, I was home for a summer. My mom started talking to me about the business, and lo and behold, here I am a year later.
Yeah, I mean, mine's very similar. Actually, the pandemic helped facilitate it a little bit. I was supposed to go to Amsterdam and intern for AWA, Alexander Watson Associates, and obviously could not make it over there. So I was interning for them and working at living at home. And my dad kind of, same with Ginny's mom, started talking to me. We have needs, and so I ended up joining.
So now, how long have each of you been with the company?
It will be a year for me in about 2 weeks.
Oh, how exciting.
And I started in February, so I think that's bad at math. Eight months.
Very fresh. We love it.
Yeah.
Both very fresh. Yeah, feels like we're fresh.
So, I mean, as you're kind of doing this learning process, obviously you have a bit more experience from your family connections, but what has been your favorite part of the industry so far? Like, that's really either caught your eye or you're just like, yes, I love that part of this.
I think for me, it's the people. So I was working just for a tech company before this in HR, and working with a lot of software engineers, and it was a great experience, but the people were not quite as genuine or down to earth as I'm experiencing here. I think just something about our industry, anybody I talk to, whether it's someone in purchasing or sales or customer service, everyone is just like kind and nice. Even if like you screw something up and like they're mad at you, they're still just like patient and understanding. So I think it's the people that really differentiate it for me, and it's just really like comfortable industry, and it's easy to connect to people no matter where they work or what company they're part of.
I think part of that might be our geographical location. We do have the Midwestern nice going for us.
That's very true.
What about you, Alex?
Yeah, similar vein for me. Being in purchasing and building relationships with raw material suppliers, it's been really, really nice interacting with just a whole range of different people and how willing they are to share their knowledge with me, being new in the industry and being willing to help me learn and grow. It's been wonderful.
So this question might be a bit preemptive as you are newer to the industry, but as you have that family history, what are you seeing as the future of the printing industry? Are there any trends that are really catching your eye that you are interested to see how they grow moving forward?
I think I can answer this first. Not necessarily the printing industry, but specifically in labels. I look forward to seeing how linerless labels grow. I think they're globally is growing about 6% per year. So I think it's a great way for companies to reduce waste and facilitate more efficient shipping patterns. And so I really look forward to seeing how that grows and develops.
Before you answer, I want to follow up on that. I think there's kind of a misconception that linerless seems new, and it's really not that new of a technology, but have you seen that growing in your own business, not just the 6% globally?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's customer driven, right? And it's based on, well, what do the end users want and need? And while we don't interact too much with end users, I think there has to be that drive to switch. There's an infrastructure need to make the change from liner labels to linerless labels. And so, as that continues to develop, good point. It isn't a new technology, but as silicone costs, or as technology improves, then it justifies the potentially higher cost, and so I think in that way, I think it's exciting.
And from a sustainability standpoint, I mean,
Right.
it has the ability to make a huge impact, which as more and more end users are looking for sustainable products, that's going to push its way up through the brand to the suppliers.
Mm-hmm.
So Ginny, why don't we circle back to you on any trends that you're seeing in the industry?
Yeah, I think, so I work more on our release liner side of the business. And so I don't really do much with our label or pressure sensitive areas, but in terms of release liner, I'm just looking forward to seeing how we can get more efficient and how we can, Channel Resources has sort of like slowly over time built up our release liner capabilities, and there's a lot more we can do to make it more efficient. And so I think like my answer is pretty simple, is just seeing like how can we get more throughput, how can we reduce waste, how can we maybe one day learn to be able to like reuse liner, since it's just like being thrown away. So that's a simple answer. But
now, in terms of sustainability, I think Channel Resources has quite a legacy of that, especially with your grandfather having a sustainability award named after him. So let's talk sustainability. What are any new initiatives or inventions that you guys are seeing that in terms of sustainability are really like, yes, this is it, keep an eye on this?
I think the biggest thing that our grandfather Calvin has been focusing on is waste to energy. So how can we take all of the like matrix waste or release liner discards and use those to convert into fuel pellets that we can then use to convert into energy. So at our manufacturing plant, we collect all of our waste and we send it to get converted into fuel pellets. And so that's what Calvin's really been focused on and is really excited about and trying to get other companies on board for. And it seems like it's a fantastic closed loop offering that seems like it has a lot of potential.
And especially if it's something that you guys are using within your own facility, you are proof positive that it works.
Right.
Right.
What about you, Alex? What are you seeing?
I was actually going to emphasize the same thing. It's something that's pretty exciting that Calvin's been working on for a number of years. And it's cool to see it develop and see him grow this outside of the company with other organizations. And yeah, so just about the same thing.
Yeah.
I think as many closed loop kind of systems that we can implement as possible is great. Because you want to see things that are, like you mentioned with the release liner, you don't want to see things just getting thrown away or in landfill. Right. Anything we can do to avoid that is wonderful.
Right.
So now back to our young people focus on this. If you could pick one way, what would you do to get more people into the industry that are, younger? Because I'm sure you've had the experience of telling your friends you work in printing or you work in labels, and it's like, oh. What would you do to fix it?
To The Office, the TV show.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Their go-to.
Thunder Mifflin paper.
Exactly. I think that younger people or people our age are really interested in impact and culture. And like we were just talking about, I think there are a lot of different initiatives right now around sustainability, and our industry knows that sort of that's where we're trending and that's what people are interested in. That's what consumers want. So I think one, emphasizing sustainability efforts, and two, like people just want a good place to work. Like they want managers who respect them. They want to be able to go into the office and like be comfortable and have coworkers who care about them. Like I think office environment and like employee to employee culture is really important. And that's what our industry is really good at. Like I was talking earlier just about how the people are so different. Like our employees at our Chicago office, some of them have been there for over 25 years. I mean, the tenure is just crazy. And at my former company, people were there for 5 years and we were celebrating that like it was like very rare. And so I think there's something really special about the culture in our industry that we can really emphasize with younger people and say, like, this actually is really different than a lot of companies out there. And people stay for a reason, and it's the people.
I think emphasizing that this can be a career, not a job. Like,
Yeah,
this could be a place that you make a home for your working tenure, really. What do you think, Alex?
Yeah, I think Ginny makes a really good point about. I think it's easy to see the paper industry is not very sustainable, and old. I mean, you think about some of the paper mills that are out there, and they're 100 years old, and I think that sort of mindset when looking at the company as a young person can make it seem archaic and uninteresting, but it really is an interesting industry. And I think it takes good training programs, and a good culture to bring people in. I actually think the ability to work remotely and how COVID has probably disrupted that and enabled more people to work from a wide range of geographic locations has probably benefited the industry in many ways, because you don't necessarily have to live in Wausau or something like that in order to be in the paper industry.
Geographically, a lot of the label printing industry is located around the Midwest, but like you said, there's no reason we couldn't be hiring East Coast or West Coast or all different geographical locations to get more people in the industry. It doesn't have to be like a regionally locked in area like it once was. All great points. I'm excited for the day when it isn't a novelty to discuss labels with young people. I feel like you walk around show floors and it's like, oh my gosh, someone young is over there, and someday that's just going to be the norm. Well, thank you guys both so much for your time today.
Thanks so much for talking with us and giving us the opportunity to share about our experience.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and make sure to click the subscribe button at the top of the screen. You can see more videos from this playlist by clicking the video on the right, or click the video on the left to see all of our other videos.